Hello, and thank you for being here. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Isidoros, and I am the CEO of Pobuka. I love technology and science, and you may subscribe to my newsletter, The Impact of AI, to exchange ideas from there. Pobuka has 110 employees and makes 5 million euros in revenue. Pobuka Experience Cloud is an award-winning customer experience and loyalty platform based on AI technology. We are Microsoft Gold partners and twice awarded as Microsoft Partners of the Year, while our software is based on Microsoft Cloud technologies, Azure and Dynamics. This is the evolution of business. From ERP and internal processes back in the 90s, we moved to CRM and sales processes, and now we are at the era of customer experience, where customer is at the center of everything we do. If we improve the experiences we offer to our customers, we also increase their loyalty and revenues. In Pobuka, we offer turnkey CX, CRM, and loyalty projects for B2C companies. In a few words, we first measure, then design, and finally improve, creating a CX-driven, ongoing optimization loop for your business. Here are some of our clients that use Pobuka and see by average a 5% increase to their revenues. Now, let's see what the new customer experience landscape looks like. We will start with a problem. In the older days, a small business owner had a personal interaction with all his customers. He knew personally their wishes and what they liked and what they didn't. He knew all the answers about his business, and the customer service requests were always in person. Today, we live in an omni-channel, globalized era with millions of customers interacting in any possible way with your employees. The one-man show of the boss owner has passed to many specialized employees that work in different departments. This new situation has many advantages. It may also be inevitable, but has a core problem. There is no one that actually has the total customer view. Not only his transactions, but his experiences too, like the old boss owner had. This has definitely a negative impact in customer experience, and consumers many times describe it as alienation with a brand or the retailer. Now let's see what are the top 6 project priorities according to Gartner. Here you can see the list, and let's focus on the top two, to measure CX and voice of customer. Makes sense, as you can't improve what you don't measure. With customer experience metrics, we mean, for instance, the customer satisfaction index or the time it takes for first response. By voice of customer insights, we mean to know, for instance, that your customers are willing to pay more for having same day delivery. You may wonder, what is the problem here? Is it considered as a priority project to measure CX and voice of customer? The problem is that most companies rely on surveys to measure CX, and while we are past the survey effectiveness, customers receive so many surveys that fatigue them, and after all, they want their voice to be heard when they decide to communicate with a brand and not through a survey 3 months later. However, there is a hidden treasure, the dark data as they are called. This is voice of customer unstructured data, like recorded phone calls, emails, social media posts, reviews. These are data that are in a digital form, but until now they were wasted. They stayed in dark because we had no tools to process them. Now we can use artificial intelligence to listen to all the dark data at scale. Imagine you had the power to analyze every single word your customers say about you. Not only we can get the CX metrics, but we can also get voice of customer insights and evaluate our customer service. Another CX trend is to use more and more AI in customer service departments. Let's see in the next slide some examples. First of all, AI can improve agent productivity. We all know how important it is a knowledge base for a customer service department. So However, to create and maintain properly a knowledge base is harder than it sounds. It requires dedication and takes lots of time. This is an AI task to analyze what agents say when talking with customers and build Q&A articles out of those dialogues. Second, some agents leave the customers more satisfied than others. AI can find the patterns of best performing agents, like to be patient and listening, and shares a list of best practices. Finally, you may evaluate customer service performance, uh, overall performance, and per agent CX metrics to see where you stand and improve versus metrics and KPIs. Another AI example is to use a virtual agent, a bot, as a frontliner in your customer service that escalates to a human agent when it can't resolve the issue. Such bots have two skills. First, the customer service skill to questions like when are you open on Sundays, that in this case the bot needs to have access to the same AI created knowledge base that we saw in the previous slide. Second, there is the digital commerce skill that allows it to automate transactions like changes in orders, last mile experience, where is my order questions, etc. Customer service leaders are looking for ways to turn customer service from a cost center to a revenue generator. The solution of this is the Value Enhancement Score KPI, which is the customer service metric most associated with customer loyalty. This is a metric that focuses on two key areas of a customer's perception of a product or service. It evaluates how the service interaction affected their ability to use the product or service and their confidence in the decision to purchase the product or service. With the power of AI, you can analyze how well agents respond in terms of this, use it as a compass KPI, and share to them best practices of how to increase it. Another trend is metaverse. The metaverse refers to an integrated virtual environment which users can access through virtual reality and other interfaces. It aims to recreate lifelike interactions in a digital world with the power of artificial intelligence. According to Gartner, 25% of people will spend at least 1 hour per day, every day, in the metaverse by 2026, engaged in work, shopping, education, social activities, and entertainment. Moreover, it predicts that almost 1 in 3 retailers will have metaverse ready products and services by 2026. So you should start having it in your radars. That was all from me. Thank you so much for your attention. Enjoy the rest of the webinar.